Alright guys, hope you're doing well. My name is Rowlands and I'm a nutritional balancing practitioner, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to act in front of friends and family, because it's a big thing and it's a bit weird for a lot of people. But before I start, I just wanted to say thanks to all you guys that have signed up to Patreon. It means a lot. My last Patreon video, which got uploaded today, is about plant medicine and my thoughts on DMT, ayahuasca, iboga, all of the natural plant medicines. So head over there if you're interested. It's patreon.com/Lewis Rowlands, link in the description. But moving on to this video, which is about friends and family and how to act around them, because I have a lot of experience with this, so hopefully I can shine a bit of light on some of the experiences that you're probably going through and how to deal with them. So usually the first thing that happens when you begin a nutritional balancing or start a nutritional balancing program is, a lot of the time people start the program and they are quite amazed actually. You know, they find something that they feel like is going to work, and then they read a little bit about the spiritual aspects of the program, the more deeper aspects of the program, how the mind is not the root cause of most psychological issues. In fact, the body and body chemistry has a lot to do with it. So a lot of the time people just want to shout this out to their friends and family and tell them about it, and be like, look, I found this program, you know, I've not been feeling well for a while and I want to share it with you and tell you all about it. And you know, they talk about how amazing hair mineral analysis is, and they will get met by just confusion, laughs, put downs, people saying, what are you doing, why are you doing it? And it can get challenging and very confusing, especially if you're in a position whereby you're not feeling well, which is the majority of people. So I'm going to give you some kind of tips and advice and just walk you through what's happened in my experience and what usually happens in other people's experiences. So the first thing is, I think it's important to realize that a lot of the time when you're saying this stuff to people, often they can be in slightly better health than you. So, you know, I'm not saying that these people are going to be well. Most people have got health problems, but a lot of the time your parents, for example, that got brought up in a different era whereby often they was on better diets, better whole foods, they've got a better foundation for their health and healing. They tend to be more resilient than a lot of people. So, you know, you're telling sometimes 40, 50, 60-year-olds who generally have their health is okay, they will just look at you bemused, because they haven't had serious health issues whereby they have to be somewhat obsessed by finding the answer. So they haven't delved into spiritual matters. Often they haven't really questioned the medical industry. They haven't questioned the pharmaceutical industry. They've been kind of blue collar people that have gone to work, you know, raised kids, got a house, got a car, got a mortgage, that sort of stuff. So for them it's just like, what are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? This is weird. You know, why don't you go and visit a doctor? You know, why don't you go and you know, go to the hospital or whatever? You know, natural healing doesn't work. So this is, you know, you get a group of people that are generally in better health than you, that just think you're bonkers because they have just never experienced severe derealization, severe brain fog, severe depression at times, and often they think it's all in the mind. Then you kind of get a bunch of people who deep down they know that what you're doing is good, but because they're feeling so bad and they're so confused as well, they have a tendency to suck energy from you, even though it's subconscious, and we call these energy vampires. So a lot of the times you will say to people, look, I'm eating healthy, I'm eating drinking water, you know, I'm eating this, I'm eating that, I'm resting, I'm not going out night clubbing. And because of their own inner guilt and own inner shame, they will automatically try and pull you down by saying, oh, you know, come on, I thought you was a party animal, do you know what I mean? Why have you got so boring? You know, what's wrong with you? And really it's coming from their own insecurities and their own guilt. You know, it can make you feel pretty crap about yourself when all you're wanting is support from friends. These usually, this type of experience often comes from friends, because when you're ill, often you're surrounded by other people that are on a similar vibration to you, and it can include drink, drugs, cigarettes, loose relationships, that sort of stuff. So that's another group of people that you will come into contact with. There are other groups of people, like people that are very, very set in scientific kind of mindset. So, you know, they're just so arrogant and stuck up that they just think that science is the answer, and they put themselves on some perch, and, you know, they'll say silly things like, where are the studies? This isn't a real doctor. You know, where's the peer-reviewed articles? You know, you that sort of stuff. You're talking rubbish. You know, and these people are just arrogant, you know. They've got some sort of power-hungry structure to their egos. They're often atheists. They often think they know better than other people, when in reality they're probably the dumbest people in one respect, because they just cannot see the woods for the trees. So that's generally the sort of stuff that you're going to get in the beginning. So how to deal with it? Well, in the beginning it's hard because you're still sick. So a lot of the times they will have weight to their arguments or comments. So for example, you might lose weight. Losing weight's absolutely fine on the program. Losing weight's quite normal. You know, there's a lot of changes going off. You're cutting out sugars, you're cutting out carbs, you're cutting out drinking. You know, sometimes the thyroid gland and the adrenal glands initially become a bit more stressed because you're going through such a change that you can lose weight, and it just gives people weight to throw at you. Oh, you're losing weight, there must be something wrong with you. Oh, look how tired you are, this is clearly not working. And you know, often it comes from the three different people I was talking about. So, you know, for parents and for people that have got much, you know, that are in better health because they've had a better foundation, it just gives them weight to make their own rhetoric stronger, that the medicinal route is the way to go. For the people that are just shameful and guilty and they're confused within themselves, it gives them weight because they can pull you down even further by saying, oh, you're losing weight, you're getting more tired, etc., etc. You know, and then the scientific people, they get more arrogant and more egotistical and more power hungry. Oh, look, I told you so. This doesn't work. It's never going to work. You need to listen to the doctors. Blah 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 blah. So what do you need to do to counter this? Well, the first thing to do is to realize that you probably don't have the energy or the clarity of mind or the life experience to really put them in their place. For some people who are a little bit open-minded, for some parents or some friends, you know, you can sit them down and just tell them slowly and clearly and try and get everything off your chest. Maybe go for a walk. I did this to my parents one time where I just wrote everything down I could think of, and it just says, look, I just want you to sit down for half an hour, just don't say anything, just let me speak. And I got everything off my chest down to the smallest details, and that seems to work much better, because then they can really tell that there's something wrong, and you've clearly thought about it, and you've clearly got some good answers for it, and that really helped me a lot of the time. And you can do this with some friends and family as well. Usually it can bring their egos down a little bit, because sometimes there's a tennis match in the beginning with them saying one thing, you saying one thing, and if you just say to them, look, can we just sit down and have a chat? I really need to just get things off my chest, and say to them, look, just give me 20 minutes, half an hour, don't say anything, and just take an hour to yourself just to sit down with a notebook and just write everything down. You know what I mean? What happened in school, how you've been feeling, changes, what happens when you smoke, what happens when you drink, how you feel when you eat sugar, and then write down bits about the program. You know, maybe talk about people like me who've healed, give them some information about my videos, explain to them about the medical industry and how it's corrupted and how pharmaceuticals generally just want to make money, and just do it from that angle. Tends to work a lot better. But for the majority of the time, the best thing to do is just to try and stay quiet. Just try and do what you need to do. Don't really tell them too much, because it just gives them weight and power to say something back to you. So just quietly get on with what you need to do, eating your food, taking the supplements, drinking the water. That tends to help a lot. And what you'll find is, as you begin doing the program, you begin to become more healthy, more developed. You get more confident in your arguments. You get more confident in the way that you approach people. Your mind starts to work better. What people will tend to see is, they'll tend to see that you're looking healthier, your mind's sharper, you're laughing more, you're more jokey, you've got more energy, you've got knowledge that makes sense, you've got a sort of wisdom, you are grounded, you can look them in the eye and not look away because you're feeling bad about yourself, you can stand in your own power. And this starts to build over time, and the tables start to change. They start looking at you differently. They start respecting you more. They start realizing that if they say something to you, you've got the confidence, you've got the wisdom, you've got the knowledge, you've got the humor to say something back at them. And you start to lead by example, and they start to look at you and start to realize, do you know what? Something's actually changing in Lewis, something's actually changing in Joanne or whoever. You know what I mean? He seems to have more energy, and he seems to have more fun when he's out and he's not drinking, And another thing that happens is that it takes a little bit of time to for people to get to just feel comfortable with the new you. It's a little bit like someone who just has a drastic haircut all of a sudden. You ever seen these people who, they've got long hair and then all of a sudden the head's shaved, or they'll dye it bright blue or bright green. Initially it's a big shock and you're like, oh my God, what's happened? What you done? Blah, blah, blah. Who have you changed into? Etc, etc. 3 or 4 or 5 months down the line, that becomes normal to them. And it's weird if they ended up changing their hairstyle back. It's a little bit like health and healing on the Nutritional Balancing program. After a while, they become so used to the new Lewis, who eats vegetables and doesn't drink and doesn't smoke and doesn't do drugs, that actually they just realize, or they, in their mindset, that is who you are. And if you end up doing something that you used to do, like, all of a sudden you'll have a cigarette or do drinking or have some sugar, it's like, whoa, Lewis, you okay? Like, what's going off? You know what I mean? So humans are a creature of habit. And habitually, time after time, you do something different to what you used to do. It'll become a new habit in their mind that that's who you are, and they'll feel less anxious because you haven't changed really. Your personality's not changed. You're still the same person on one level. You're still interested in the same kind of stuff. You're still interested in the same hobbies. You can still talk about the same stuff, but now you've just changed, and the habit in their mind has changed, and that's what's important. It does take a while. You might get fed up in the beginning of saying, no, I'm not going to drink, no, I'm not going to smoke, and they'll say, why, blah, 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 and then after a while they'll just won't say anything, because they're just so used to it, that you not drinking, that they just won't say anything anymore, and that's just how it goes. And then further down the line, when, years down the line, when you've changed a lot, they really start to see you as something different. They know something's changed. They see that your friendship group's changed. They see that you've got new businesses. They see that you're bright and sparkly, and people like to be around you, and you've got a good aura. And they know deep down that you've changed. And often they'll come to you for advice. They'll come to you for comfort. They know you're someone who they can rely on. They know that you're someone who they can call up in times of need, and you're going to support them. And you're not going to be like the rest of the friends who are just going to be like, oh, you're okay, don't worry about it, blah, 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 blah. You become like an agony uncle, I suppose, or an agony aunt. You become someone who's got wisdom, got knowledge, and after a few years, you're on your own path, and this new you is so habitualized in their head that that's just how things are, and you start to become more confident, more funny, more energetic, and they look up to you on one level. Doesn't mean that they're going to start the program, But what it does mean is that they do realise that whatever you have done has worked, and they was wrong in whatever way it was. They were wrong, and you know, nothing changes too much. Well, massive things have changed for you, and but you know, they'll be living their lives often like they used to, and you'll be living your new life, and they'll see you differently, and you'll often see them differently, and life's good often for you, and you're like someone that they can look up to now. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hope it's helped out. As I say in the beginning, it's going to be a challenge. Try not to say too much. Often it helps to sit down with people and spend half an hour and just get everything off your chest, everything you can, and try and explain things as much as possible. Be willing to keep saying no, keep saying no, keep saying no, until habitually their minds change. And as you keep on going, your health will improve, your confidence will improve, and the tables will slowly start to turn. And then a few more years down the line, you'll become this leader, this person who has completely changed. They've actually forgot the old you, and you become this kind of beacon of light, of hope, someone that people can rely on, and you'll be on your new path, and you'll be surrounded often by different people, different friends, and different mindset. So I hope that's helped you out. I understand that's an important one for you guys. Thanks for watching. If you want to know and you want to delve into the deeper aspects to nutritional balancing, talking about deep spirituality, early Christianity, God, sacred geometry, plant medicines, all that sort of stuff, the stuff that I don't really feel comfortable about talking about on this YouTube channel, often Google and YouTube will stop some of the content that I will be saying. So if that interests you, head over to patreon.com/Lewis Rowlands. Apart from that, if you do want to start a development program, feel free to email me, Lewis, Lewis, at deephealingspace.com. All the links are in the description. Please subscribe, smash the like button, and I'll chat to you all soon. Thanks, bye bye.